I'll go with you, I'll go with you. Hey everybody, it's Dan. I'm going to start off this stick flow with some kicks for the hip flexors up here and the hip extensors back here. I'm not just trying to get my toes as high as I can gradually, but I'm trying to get my heel back there as well. So after several of these hip flexor kicks, I'm going to float that leg back. And then I'm going to take this stick in closer and I'm going to drop my knee down. And as I drop this knee down, that psoas muscle here is going to get pulled down as well. But the psoas connects the leg here to the spine up here. So in order to get the top part of this stretch, we need to lift our rib cage and our chest, and we can facilitate that by hooking the hands and just slowly letting the knee drop a little bit more. We're not trying to get a super intense stretch here. We're just trying to feel the muscles. So after that psoas stretch, I'm going to plant this stick into the floor, and then I'm going to twist over my back shoulder, keeping that leg strong behind me, squeezing my inner thighs together and driving into the floor, through the feet, through the hips, lifting the chest and the rib cage up towards the ceiling, and then using my hand to leverage my twist over the back shoulder. Inhaling up tall and then exhaling, perhaps through a straw, for as long as you want in each of these shapes. But remember, to be comfortable, to say you own this shape, you have to be able to breathe in it comfortably. So after your desired amount of twist, we're going to take that twist and we're going to take it up into a stand to balance. I'm going to position that stick in line with the knee, but I'm not going to let the knee touch it. I'm going to take the outside of my foot, not the bottom of my foot, the outside of my foot, and I'm going to push into that stick as I drive down into the floor so that perhaps you can see that stick bend. I'm creating tension using the internal hip muscles, the internal hip rotators. Hold that for your desired amount of time, and then switch to our external hip rotators. Perhaps if you have a mirror like I do, you can make sure your chest and your shoulders, your ears, your hips are all lined up. As you breathe in through the nose, calmly, deeply, expansively, you notice I'm changing the height of my foot, strengthening those muscles in different various positions. When I'm done with those, I'm going to take that knee back up into flexion, and I'm going to practice some single leg hip hinges. Making sure my back foot doesn't point out, but it points down at the floor so that my hips and my shoulders and my chest stay level. Inhaling back, and then exhaling back up. If you had a kettlebell here, this would be a single leg deadlift. Same exercise. After several of these hip hinges, maybe you want to practice balancing and opening up now to the side of the room. Using that stick however you need to for balance, trying to keep the breath nice and calm. As long as you're calm in your breath, your mind will be calm in your body. If you wanted to here, you could take your eyes up to the ceiling. I'm not feeling that today, but I am feeling to float this down into a warrior two. I'm going to position the stick in front of my toes now. I'm going to find a good strong warrior two lunge. Back foot flat, front foot flat, and I'm squeezing my inner thighs towards each other, driving down into the floor, creating a strong, stable foundation. All right. Now before we do anything from here, let's practice taking that knee towards the stick a few times, and then you can floss back to a straight leg. See if you can touch your knee to the stick. This would be like a knee to toe drill. Knee over toes. If you can take it past. If you can't take it all the way to the stick, that's fine too. But after a few of those, let's hang out in this Warrior Two. When you're ready to slide that front hand down to the middle of the stick, I'm going to take that top hand up, thumb down, and I'm going to push into the stick as I try to open my chest and my eyes to the ceiling, taking that top arm back behind my ear. Don't forget about your foundation, your feet, your ankles, your inner thighs. That's going to keep your balance. If you wanted to, you can floss back and forth here between, whoa, that's why I'm close to the wall for this. You can floss back and forth between your lunge and your straight leg. That top hand, well, all I'm doing with that top hand is just hanging on with my fingers. I'm trying to keep my right side relaxed so that I can get this mobility, this stretch from the stick. So perhaps you're ready to take that stick down to the floor now and find a more traditional triangle. And as long as you like here, until maybe you want to find an extended side angle or a bind of some sort. You could take this up to balance if you wanted. I'm not feeling the balance today, obviously. But when you're done with whatever version of that pose, let's turn to face the hips and then take that knee down and the back foot down to the floor. And I'm going to pick up that stick now and I'm going to put it on top of my shoulder and straighten out my front leg. We're going to take this now into a hamstring stretch. Obviously, front toes up towards the nose, towards the ceiling, so you can get the calf and this calf involved in the stretch. Now, the way we're going to use this stick is we're going to use it for balance, but also to keep my chest up, right? So that I'm not compromising my back in a lazy position. I'm keeping my chest lifted. I can hang on with my hands here. I can reach to turn on the stretch. You can do a number of different variations here. Now, if you are a lot more flexible than this and you don't think you need the stick, just see if you can hang out with the stick a little bit more. Maybe use the stick. All right, we can go back and forth and floss into this hamstring lunge stretch. And then to switch legs, I'm going to bring both knees down. I'm going to grab the top of this stick and I'm going to get a nice monkey hang, letting my chest drop forward and my arms come back behind my ears. I can rock in this a little bit if I want to. And then let's take the right foot forward and come up to balance. Because now we got to start to kick the left hip. And drop that back knee. Let that stretch get pulled up and down, both directions into that muscle, into that tissue. And obviously you don't have to follow along with me. You can stay in these shapes, breathe in these shapes for as long as you want. Pause the video and come back. Internal rotation, using the side of the foot, not the bottom of the foot. External rotation, the same thing, using that medial arch, not the bottom of the foot. and change positions on that stick. We're also focusing on balance here, obviously, but I intentionally put myself next to the wall so that I can reach out and use the wall if I need to. There's nothing wrong with needing to use the wall. Our hip hinges now, if you had a weight nearby that you wanted to use, you can do that. Just make sure we're focusing on keeping the hips square. We're not dropping the shoulder or the arm or the back hip. Good use of the wall. Back into our warrior two. Now, this ankle has a lot less mobility than my other side, so I usually can't touch the stick here, but I'm getting close. Keep the heel down. If I didn't mention that before, obviously. Mouth. Did a lot better on this side because I didn't have to talk. Maybe I'll take the audio from the first side and use it for the second. We're going to take this now into that hamstring stretch. Lean and reach with the stick. Use the stick to keep the chest up and the back safe. I'm pressing the top of my back foot into the floor and I'm dragging this heel towards me, toes up, so I can really feel the hamstrings as I lift, reach my tail or my butt up towards the ceiling. So as on the other side, you can take this and floss it a little bit, trying to get deeper into that stretcher, a further reach on the stick. My heel, my knee are not moving. I'm just bending the knee a little bit and then trying to press the leg straight again. Still using both feet. Back foot is still keeping me grounded. All right. So now that we're done with that, let's take this into a wide leg fold, and the stick is going to come in between my feet. I'm going to use my feet here to anchor the stick so that I can pull myself into this stretch, and the stick's also going to help me keep my toes up, right? So I don't want my toes forward, I want my toes up for this stretch. You can also do it with the toes forward, but that's just a different stretch. We're going to do this one with the toes up, and then you can use this stick not only, like I said, to pull yourself deeper into the stretch, but to keep your chest lifted. Maybe you're ready to hook the arms and take the elbows down. Keeping the chest lifted, the back safe. If you're not there, maybe you're here, pulling yourself, your chest up that direction or that direction. And then we're going to finish this flow by taking the stick behind the back. And you can bring one leg in if you like, or you can keep it out. I'm just going to use this now as an anchor. And then behind me, I've got the stick behind my back just to help leverage a nice deep twist, as I would anything else, to leverage more torque. I'm not dumping into this. I'm lifting up tall and trying to get my breath over the back shoulder. Remember to breathe in these positions. And remember that movement is medicine. It's medicine for the joints. It's medicine for the body, for the mind. Because depression can't catch a moving target. So as long as you keep your bodies moving, your mind will be that much stronger as well. Thanks for joining us. Me. It's just me. But thank you for joining me. Grab a stick. The only reason you would need a stick, mobility stick, is for the bendy part. Which I think was just for maybe one or two things. So you can use a broomstick, you can use some PVC pipe, but it is a great tool to leverage your mobility practice, your movement practice, your yoga practice. All right, thanks. We'll talk to you next time. Please follow, like, subscribe.